Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Our topic is soil and we're discussing about the soil erosion. Today let's discuss about the various types of soil erosion and the effects of the erosion to the social and the economic activities. We'll start with the types of the soil erosion. Now, there are mainly two types of the soil erosion, namely normal erosion and the accelerated erosion. Starting with the normal erosion. The normal erosion, also called the geologic erosion, the one that occurs when the topsoil is gradually removed under normal conditions of the physical, biotic, and the hydrological processes. It is a very slow process in which the complete equilibrium is maintained between the soil removing and the soil forming processes. So normal erosion is just very normal gradual removing of the soil without any uh, intense remove, maybe by high speed of uh, the agents of the erosion. So I'll proceed with this normal erosion. That is what is also called the geologic erosion. Moving on, the normal erosion, it tends to produce wavy or undulating land surface with the alternating ridges and depressions. It is accomplished chiefly by the means of the slow migration of the soil particles from the soil surface in the successive rains. Now, in the arid regions, wind during the long dry season is an important factor for the normal erosion. So the main agent for the soil erosion in these arid regions is wind, whereby it takes just the certain amount of the soil particles, moving them from one place to another. The second is the accelerated erosion. This is the type of erosion which it occurs when the removal of the topsoil is much faster than the soil formation. In other words, you can say that this is just a type of erosion that occurs on a soil where the soil erosion agents work at a faster rate than soil forming factors. So it is very different from the normal erosion, whereby in the normal erosion, there's eroding of the soil, whereby also the repressing of the soil particles takes place at a considerable time. But in accelerated erosion, this it occurs where the soil erosion agents they work at a faster rate, yes, more than the soil forming factors, which are the factors that help to renew the soil that was once removed. So this is the accelerated erosion. Now, let's see the effects of the soil erosion. The consequences of the soil erosion are primarily centered on the reduced agricultural productivity as well as the soil quality, whereby waterways may also be blocked and it may affect the water quality. This means that most of the environmental problems the world faces today arises generally from the soil erosion. Now, some of the effects of the soil erosion are described below, starting with the first one, that is loss of the arable lands that are used for the crop production have been substantially affected by the soil erosion. The soil erosion, it takes away the topsoil, which is the fertile layer of the land, and also the component that supports the soil's essential microorganisms and contains the organic particles or organic matter. Now, in this kind of a view, soil erosion has severely threatened the productivity of the fertile cropping areas as they are continually degraded. Now, because of the soil erosion, most of the soil characteristics that supported the agriculture have been lost, causing low crop production and mass starvation. So it is likely that most of the cultivated areas around the world are exposed due to the soil erosion. So this is the first effect, that is the loss of arable land or just the loss of the fertile land for the cultivation of the crops. The second one is water pollution. Soil eroded from the agricultural lands. They carry the pesticides, heavy metals, and fertilizers, which are washed into the streams and the major waterways. Now, this leads to the water pollution and damage to the marine and the freshwater habitats. Now, accumulated sediments, they can also cause clogging of the waterways and rise the water level, leading to the flooding. Now, the water quality of various streams, rivers, and the coastal areas has also been deteriorated as a result of the soil erosion, eventually affecting the health of the local communities. So, the soil erosion, yes, it affects it or it leads to the water pollution. The third one is sedimentation. Apart from the polluting the water systems, the high soil sedimentation can be catastrophic to the survival of the aquatic life forms. Silt can block the breeding grounds of the fish and the equally lessens their food supply. Since the situation, it reduces the biodiversity of the other life and the beneficial aquatic plants. Now, the sediments may also enter the fish gills, affecting their respiratory functions. So the sedimentations, it occur rapidly that it can affect the aquatic life forms. Now, moving on, the fourth one is air pollution. Wind erosion picks up the dust particles of the soil and is through them into the air, causing the air pollution. Now, some of the dust particles may contain the harmful and the toxic particles, such as the petroleum and the pesticides that can cause the severe health hazard when inhaled or ingested. Now, outside clouds from the deserts or dry areas can cause also large and widespread erosion as the winds move. So that's wind or that's air pollution that is caused by the wind. The fifth one is the destruction of the infrastructure. The soil erosion, they can affect the infrastructures such as the dams, bridges, railways, electric and telephone poles, drainages, and the embankments. The accumulation of the soil sediments in dams and drainages and along the embankments can reduce the operational lifetime and the efficiencies. Also, the tilt up can support parts like that can in turn cause cracks and the weakens the structures. So the soil erosion from the surface water runoff also often causes the serious damages to the roads and tracks, especially if stabilizing techniques are not used. So the soil erosion generally rapidly destructs the infrastructures. The sixth point is the desertification. Soil erosion is the major drive of the desertification. It gradually transforms a habitable land in the arid and the semi-arid lands into the deserts. The transformations are worsened by the destruction use of the land and the deforestation that leaves the soil naked and open to destruction or open to erosion. This usually leads to the loss of the biodiversity, alternation of the ecosystems, land degradation, and huge economic losses. So that's how soil erosion leads to the desertification. The seventh point is to the weathering. The soil erosion can lead to and accelerated rock weathering by exposing the underlying rock to the weathering agents at the temperature. The rocks under the soil are shielded from the agents of the weathering. But when the topsoil is removed, they are exposed to the weathering agents such as the temperature and the chemicals. Now, this simply accelerates the weathering and the degradation of the rocks. The 8 point loss of the various property. Erosion due to the heavy rains on slopes can cause landslides and mudslides, which has been reported to cause this great loss of life and property in various parts of the world. So soil erosion leads to the loss of life and the property in that kind of a way. The mass of the soil from the landslide or mud flowing downhill can cover the sediments or cause floods, hence they killing people and destroying the diverse properties and the infrastructures. So that's how the soil erosion just it affects or leads to the loss of life and destruction of the property or loss of property. Last not least, the ninth point that is the soil erosion leads to the flooding. The deforestation removes the vegetation from the land surface, thus depriving the soil from its cover. Now, trees they help hold the soil in place and reduce the impact of the erosion and the transportation of the eroded soil. Now, when the trees are cleared, winds and the rains push the erode, expose the soil and logs to the streams and rivers, resulting in unwanted sedimentation. Now, that unwanted sedimentation is the one that leads to the flooding. So, the heavy layers of the sediment keep the streams and the rivers from flowing smoothly, that eventually leading to the floods or flooding. So, That's the other effect of the soil erosion. Excess water, especially during the rainy seasons and when the snow melts, gets trapped also by the sediment and has nowhere else to go except back on the land. Now, this is also the one that is known as flooding, which has many detrimental effects to the man and the environment. So I hope this clear everyone. That's all for this video discussing the various types of the soil erosion. We've seen plenty of many of the various effects of the soil erosion to the social and also to the economic. Thank you.